It starts so quietly that most people never notice it. A later bedtime, less movement, a little extra weight around the middle, a drink that became two. And after 50, those routines can shape your cancer risk. Not overnight, not through one dramatic mistake. But day by day, your body is either getting more support for repair and protection, or more of the stress that slowly pushes cells in the wrong direction. That matters because cancer risk is not only about family history or bad luck. Those matter, yes. But repeated daily habits matter too, especially when the body becomes less forgiving with age. Cells repair damage more slowly. Inflammation, which means long-term irritation inside the body, is easier to trigger. Blood sugar and hormones can become less stable, and those shifts create opportunities for trouble. Stay with me until habit 4, because it is the most overlooked one on this list. It has nothing to do with supplements or miracle foods. It is about the hour you think is harmless, and it may be changing your risk in ways most people never connect. Before we go further, subscribe to the channel, and this channel is built for people who want practical health guidance. In the next few minutes, you will hear 7 daily habits that help lower cancer risk after 50, and why they matter in real life. Not perfection, not guilt, just practical patterns that give your body a better chance to protect itself. Habit 1. Move your body every day. This does not mean training like an athlete. It means giving your body regular movement that raises circulation, uses your muscles, and keeps you from sitting still for most of the day. A brisk walk, light cycling, yard work, climbing stairs, or simple strength exercises at home all count. Why does this matter for cancer risk? Because movement affects several systems at once. It helps control body weight. It improves insulin sensitivity, which means your body handles blood sugar more effectively. It can lower chronic inflammation. It also helps regulate certain hormones that, when chronically elevated, may encourage the growth of some cancers. In simple terms, daily movement creates a healthier internal environment. What does this look like in real life? Maybe you wake up stiff, sit at breakfast, sit in the car, sit at work, then sit again after dinner because you feel tired. That feels normal to millions of people, but long stretches of sitting can quietly become a pattern of low energy, gradual weight gain, and poorer metabolic health. Metabolic health means how well your body manages fuel, hormones, and energy. But here's the part that surprises most people. Avoid the all-or-nothing trap. A 20-minute walk after meals done most days may do more for your long-term health than an exhausting session you only manage occasionally. Why do people miss this? Because movement does not feel dramatic. There is no alarm. You just slowly get used to feeling less strong and more winded. Think about the last time you told yourself, "I was too busy to move today." One skipped day is nothing. A skipped year is something else. If ignored, the long-term effect is not just lower fitness. It can mean increasing abdominal fat, worse blood sugar control, poorer sleep, and higher risk across diseases, including some cancers. That is why daily movement belongs at the foundation. Habit 2, build your meals around plants and fiber. Fiber is the part of plant foods your body does not fully digest. It sounds simple, but it does important work. It helps move waste through the digestive tract. It supports healthier blood sugar levels, and it feeds beneficial gut bacteria, the microbes in your intestines that help shape inflammation, immunity, and digestion. When people hear cancer prevention, they often think about one magical food. But risk does not usually move because of one berry, one spice, or one powder. It moves because of overall patterns. Meals built around vegetables, beans, fruit, whole grains, nuts, and other minimally processed plant foods tend to deliver fiber and protective compounds together. Protective compounds include antioxidants, which help defend cells from damage caused by unstable molecules called free radicals. In real life, this habit can be simple: oatmeal with berries, lentils added to soup, a bigger serving of vegetables at dinner, swapping refined snacks for fruit and nuts, replacing some processed meats with beans, fish, or chicken. These decisions change the chemistry of your day. And this next point matters. Many adults over 50 do not feel an immediate consequence when fiber is low. Maybe they are slightly constipated. Maybe convenience just takes over, so they miss the connection. But lower fiber patterns often travel with more ultra-processed foods, more excess calories, poorer weight control, and less support for the colon. Here is a simple scenario. Someone grabs white toast for breakfast, packaged snacks in the afternoon, and takeout for dinner because life is busy. Nothing seems extreme, but over years, that pattern can mean less plant variety, less fiber, more weight gain, and more strain on the body. Let that sink in. Why is this habit overlooked? Because the damage is rarely loud at first. People blame age, stress, or a slow metabolism, when sometimes the plate itself is part of the story. Long-term, a low-fiber, highly processed diet can contribute to obesity, insulin resistance, and poorer digestive health, all of which matter when you are trying to lower risk. Habit 3. Keep alcohol low and make not tonight normal. This one is uncomfortable because alcohol is woven into so many routines. A drink to relax, a drink to celebrate, a drink because everybody else is having one. But alcohol is not neutral when it comes to cancer risk. When your body breaks alcohol down, it produces acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that can damage DNA. DNA is the instruction code inside your cells. Damage there is exactly what you want to minimize over time. Alcohol can also affect hormone levels and make it easier to consume excess calories, which matters because carrying extra body fat raises risk too. And the relationship is not limited to very heavy drinking. Many people assume only obvious misuse counts. That is not how the evidence works. What does this look like in everyday life? 2 glasses of wine most evenings because it feels moderate. Cocktails on weekends that become stronger and larger over time. Drinks that were once occasional becoming automatic. The body does not judge the setting, it responds to exposure. Now here's the real question. Why does nobody talk about the fact that routine drinking is often underestimated? Partly because people compare themselves only with someone who drinks much more. Partly because alcohol is marketed as relief and reward. And partly because the effects are invisible until years have passed. What I'm about to tell you about the next habit changes everything, because it explains why some people do many things right and still miss a major daily influence on risk. If this habit is ignored, alcohol can become a quiet multiplier. It may add calories, disturb sleep, increase blood pressure, and expose cells to repeated chemical stress. Lowering risk does not require pretending alcohol never exists. It means making low intake, or none at all, your default rather than your exception. Habit 4, protect your sleep schedule, not just your sleep duration. This is the overlooked one I promised you. Most people think sleep only matters if they feel tired the next day. But your sleep pattern influences far more than alertness. It helps regulate hormones, immune function, appetite, blood sugar, and the timing of cellular repair. A steady sleep schedule means going to bed and waking up at roughly consistent times, not swinging wildly between late nights and catch-up mornings. Why does this matter biologically? Your body runs on circadian rhythms, which are 24-hour internal clocks influenced by light, darkness, meals, and routine. When those rhythms are repeatedly disrupted, systems that depend on timing become less coordinated. That can affect inflammation, metabolism, and repair processes in ways that are not helpful over the long term. In real life, this looks familiar. Falling asleep in front of the television, staying up scrolling because you are finally getting quiet time, going to bed at 10 one night, 1 in the morning the next, then trying to recover on the weekend. It feels harmless because it is common. But common and healthy are not always the same thing. Stay with me here because many will recognize themselves. Maybe you tell yourself, I still get 7 hours, so what is the problem? The problem is that timing and consistency matter too. Your body likes predictable signals. Late meals, bright screens, and irregular bedtimes can push those signals around. Before I continue, I want to ask you something. After 50, have you noticed that one late night seems to throw off the next whole day? Drop a yes or a no in the comments right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps me understand what will help you most. Why do people overlook sleep timing? Because exhaustion is familiar. Because retirement, caregiving, stress, and screen habits can blur the edges of the day. People often blame aging alone when their schedule is part of the problem. If ignored, poor sleep patterns may drive overeating, lower activity, worse insulin control, and less efficient repair. That is a much bigger issue than feeling groggy. Habit 5. Protect your weight by protecting your routine. This is not about chasing a perfect number on the scale. It is about reducing excess body fat, especially around the waist, because fat tissue is biologically active. It does not just sit there. It can produce inflammatory signals and influence hormones, including estrogen and insulin, in ways linked to higher risk for several cancers. Most people know obesity matters. What they miss is how. Usually not through one dramatic change. It comes from routine, oversized portions, constant snacking, sugary drinks, poor sleep, too little movement, meals built mostly from foods that are easy to overeat and hard to feel satisfied by. This is why daily habits matter more than occasional bursts of motivation. Picture a typical day. Breakfast is small and unsatisfying. Lunch is rushed. By evening, you are starving, so dinner becomes huge, followed by grazing in front of the television. Repeat that enough times, and the body starts storing more than it burns. The weight comes on slowly enough that each month feels explainable, but the trend keeps moving. And here is the hidden part. Many people think weight gain after 50 is inevitable, and therefore not worth addressing. That is not true. Aging changes metabolism and muscle mass, yes. But routine still matters enormously. Small, repeated choices can either push weight upward or help stabilize it. Think about the last few years. Did your clothes change before your habits did, or the other way around? That question matters. If excess weight is ignored, the long-term consequences extend beyond appearance or mobility. They involve inflammation, hormone signaling, insulin resistance, and greater vulnerability across multiple systems. Habit 6. Be ruthless about tobacco and secondhand smoke. If there is one habit on this list that deserves zero confusion, it is this one. Tobacco smoke damages tissue directly and exposes the body to many cancer-causing chemicals. Secondhand smoke matters too. That means the smoke you inhale from someone else's cigarette, cigar, or similar product is not harmless background exposure. Why is this a daily habit? Because risk is shaped by repeated contact. The choice to avoid smoking, avoid indoor smoke, avoid social situations where you are breathing it for hours, and support quitting if you are trying to stop. Those are daily decisions. Even people who do not smoke themselves can normalize exposure because it is familiar. In real life, this may look like standing outside with friends during breaks, riding in a car where someone smokes with the window cracked, thinking an occasional cigar does not really count, assuming the damage only matters after decades of heavy use. But here's the truth. The body does not need endless exposure for smoke to be harmful. Let me put it another way. Some risks are subtle. This one is not. Yet people still minimize it because the effects do not appear immediately. A cough gets blamed on weather. Breathlessness gets blamed on age. Irritation gets brushed off. That is how dangerous routines hide in plain sight. And this final habit ties the others together because it determines whether warning signs turn into action or another year of delay. If ignored, tobacco exposure can continue injuring the lungs, blood vessels, mouth, throat, and other tissues while also making overall health less resilient. Lowering risk here starts with a firm boundary. Less is better, none is best. Habit 7. Pay attention to your body and act early on changes. This may not sound like a prevention habit at first, but it is. People who stay connected to their body's patterns tend to notice when something shifts. A persistent change in bowel habits, unexplained weight loss, ongoing heartburn that is new for them, bleeding that is unusual, a lump, a sore that does not heal, a cough that lingers, or fatigue that feels different from ordinary tiredness. Not every change means cancer, far from it, but noticing early matters. Why do people miss this? Because life is busy, because after 50, it is easy to blame everything on getting older, because many symptoms come and go, and because denial can feel more comfortable than uncertainty. But a daily habit of paying attention changes that. It means not brushing off the same warning sign for months. It means knowing you're normal so you can recognize you're not normal. Imagine this scenario. Something feels off for 6 weeks. You tell yourself it is stress, then allergies, then a stomach bug, then age. Meanwhile, time passes. That is how people drift away from early action. Here is the key point. Prevention is not only about avoiding harmful exposure, it is also about respecting signals early. That habit supports everything else on this list. A person who notices patterns is more likely to notice sleep slipping, activity dropping, alcohol creeping up, or weight climbing too. Long term, ignoring changes can delay evaluation and reduce the chance to address problems early. Paying attention is not anxiety. It is self-respect. It is one of the healthiest daily habits you can build after 50. Now let's close the loop on the habit I asked you to remember. The overlooked one was not a supplement, not a cleanse, not a special food. It was your sleep schedule. Because sleep timing quietly affects many of the same systems that drive long-term risk: hormones, appetite, blood sugar, inflammation, and the body's repair cycles. That is why so many people overlook it. It feels ordinary. It feels familiar. But irregular nights can pull other habits out of place too. You move less when tired. You snack more when tired. You may drink more to relax when tired. You make easier choices, not better ones. Once you see that connection, you cannot unsee it. Protecting your evenings may be one of the most practical ways to protect your future health. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Lowering cancer risk after 50 is usually not about one dramatic fix. It is about creating a body and a routine that support repair instead of stress, day after day. Start with one habit, not all 7. Take a 10-minute walk after dinner. Add one fiber-rich food to breakfast. Make tonight the night you skip the extra drink. Set a real bedtime and keep it. And if this kind of calm, evidence-based guidance helps you cut through the noise, subscribe, tell me in the comments which habit you're working on first, and watch the next video. Because the habits that protect you from cancer also protect your heart, brain, energy, and independence as you age.